44-minute game, almost 45-minute game.
That I do want to give a shout out here before we go to break for the second game. At the end there, just to close out the game, the Vi ult to get through the baby cage was a very clutch, like split-second decision. Really like that there. Just gonna, look through a couple stats here real quick. I want to see the damage personally. I'm just checking it out right now. The Kindred did 40,000 damage, more than or almost double as anybody else on the team. So I would almost want to say that there's going to be like a mid-Kindred ban next game.
That's really weird to think
about. Do you ban the mid-Kindred, or do you just get wrecked again?
Or do you choose something that I don't know, because the Viger did pretty well into it. Honestly, both mid laners were carrying their teams. Viger had easily the most damage on his team with 31,000. The second highest is actually the Scion.
Shout out to the
both
Rakan.
mids.
117 vision score in that game. Just thought that was worth pointing out. That is an obscene vision score for the game length there. X2.5 is like pro level vision score.
And only missed out on 10 kills. So high kill participation as well, 25 assists. But yeah, so that's game 1 of Squidward's House versus Cloud10. They're going to be swapping sides. Cloud10 will be on blue side. But we're going to take a quick break as we get ready for game 2. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cloud 10 versus Squidward's House, round 2 of Rampage Open Playoffs. I'm still here with Tame. I am Syncrostar. Anything you're looking for different in this draft?
Stretcher to wheel me out of here after that first game.
Oh, man.
Similar bans. Really not surprised. The Vlad seems to be a very comfortable pick for Squidward House's mid laner. So, but I mean, you take away his Vlad, you're gonna be sad because you're gonna get the Kindred mid, and you're gonna be calling him Dad. That's pretty bad. Anyway,
so Squidward's House proved last game that they're willing to pick the Recon without the Xayah. So I no longer think that you can ban Xayah and just assume that you've banned the duo then.
No, absolutely
and Cloud
not.
10 agrees. So Jinx ban. That wasn't banned last game ever, or picked. That's a change.
I was going to say Squidward's House chose to get rid of the Veigar instead of the Kai'Sa this game, which was the only difference in their draft, and the Kai'Sa was instantly taken by C10. So I would look for Squidward's House here to draft a very aggressive, engagey bot lane since Kai'Sa's early game without Peel, and there it is again, the Lucian. Why not? It worked last time. Yeah, it is. That's what I called in the first game. I mean, if Rob lands the Winter's Grasp onto Kai'Sa, like, that's... I mean, Lucian can just dash in and take half of Kai'Sa's health right there. So they're going to need a hard peel support here. They have to be thinking about, okay, there you go.
There it is.
I was going to say you need the hard peel support here, or else the Kai'Sa does nothing.
So Nautilus has gone through some nerfs in this patch. Nothing that really destroys him.
Just a couple points of damage on his dredge line.
Yeah.
And honestly...
Nerfing the Q's early damage and power.
Yeah. By like level 5, he's pretty much back to where he was before. And honestly, mid and top Nautilus are still nutty with the way that E functions right now if you have good positioning. So I actually like seeing Nautilus again. It felt like he was ignored for, 5 years of just pretending the champion didn't exist. And we're going to see the Fizz come out. So
yeah, Squidward's House drops the Fizz ban in favor of Viger.
I'm wondering here, like, do you take the Kindred again? Because before 6, Kindred just absolutely tears apart the Fizz, and there's no farming ability for the Fizz at all. And, Fizz is one of those, hyper-scaly... Well, not hyper-scale, but he basically scales into a one-shotty assassin that kind of falls off around 30-35 minutes, which is basically how long games are. So, do you take the Kindred here and just deny Fizz all of his farm? I mean, they showed that it worked last game, but then again... If you drop all your draft diversity and draft 4 out of the 5 or 3 out of the 5 same champions again, are you then giving up on your plan of attack?
So we have the Viger pickup, that unstoppable point-and-click ultimate CC once again picked up for Squidward's House. Just a really solid engage option. And can't be stopped by the Nautilus.
I was going to say, ban. It makes sense because I honestly thought that the Kindred would have worked here. Ornn top lane. So they're choosing to go, again, very similar to Kennen if you think about it. Sort of not as much of a lane bully, but in terms of the way his ult works. So if he was good at flanking last game like he was, the Ornn ult does definitely work, in a similar way. Ornn's kind of fallen out of favor the last couple months with a lot of pros and amateur league players as well. He's been tweaked to the point where his identity is sort of, what is it anymore?
Yeah. His cooldowns have been extended slowly throughout the last year or two. And his lane damage has been lowered, so he still has a crazy good ultimate, but he's kind of had a lot of his kit has been kind of gutted. So there isn't a lot of priority for one, but he still has that big ultimate, like you mentioned. He'll be really strong. Kled! We just saw Kled. We just saw Kled in the LCK, played by Kingzone recently.
Yeah.
And it actually did really well. Just charge the ultimate for Kled is insanely powerful, especially when you can get Nautilus onto the back line super easily, and Hecarim obviously likes movement.
I was going to say, are you seeing what I'm seeing, though?
Yeah.
Kled leading into a Hecarim with, hopefully, I want to see Predator and not Conqueror.
And Aatrox mid lane.
Aatrox mid is actually a pretty solid pick right now. It's actually up to 52% win rate in
Mhm.
high elo, and a lot of people have actually been complaining about Aatrox
Mhm.
because it takes a lot of those characters like Fizz, Talon, and Zed and basically says, like, you don't get to play the game.
Yeah. It's a melee champion with actually some decent range with his what's Darken Blade, his key.
Yeah, the Darkened Blade.
Yeah.
It seems like he didn't want to play Aatrox, but it looks like he's playing Aatrox.
Yep. Yeah, so we actually have a really high damage team composition from both sides, honestly. No AP damage from, or basically none, from Squidward's house, but it might not matter because Aatrox is just so strong right now. And we saw Evolution last game do really well. But Cloud10 has a really strong composition. Once again, they have speed buffs for the Hecarim.
So I was
Who's already really strong.
Just out of curiosity here, as we're getting into the draft, if anybody's watching and they're curious, if Hecarim has 3 Cloud Drakes and Predator Boots of Mobility that are active, and he goes through a level 3 Kled ult and his own ult, just from the movement speed, he's going to gain almost 80 AD. It's 78 AD just from that. I was just theory crafting there for a second. If anybody cares, I thought that was kind of cool to look at. So let's see if we can get let's see if we can get a poggers for a triple Cloud Drake for Cloud 10. But yeah, we'll be back here in just a couple minutes going into game 2, hopefully just as exciting and chaotic as the first.
Please don't wish that on me. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this stream to round 2 of Rampage Open Playoffs. I am still here with Tane, and we are watching Game 2, match point for Squidward's house against Cloud 10.
Absolutely. You know, we're going to get into the rift here in just a second, but first I'd like to reintroduce... Oh, are we even going to get a chance to reintroduce the teams?
Well, that's going to be a cue from the right onto the Nautilus. Nautilus is going to have to flash out.
The flash is crucial for them because the Braum Lucian lane is so aggressive already, and now they can't even really play around it. So that is a huge summoner out that early. But anyway, for Cloud 10, we have Spanish Teacher up in the top lane. Kural Kami, 13 in the jungle. XX Dragon, AK-47, XX in the mid. Hidu Jukum in the bot lane, rounding it out with Lifelong Tundra. That name's depressing. Lifelong Tundra. He just sounds like he's a sad boy. Anyway, over to Squidward's house. We have Lynx in the top lane on the Ornn. Frank Tato repeating on the Vi in the jungle. Slat in the mid lane on that Aatrox, looking to bring down the Darkened Blade. Hui Manatee, bot lane. With the Lucian. And then we have Haru Decker looking to deck him. I'm interested to see how Slat plays this here because for the viewers, it seemed like it was almost like a misdraft. It looks like Slat can rock out with the Aatrox, but it doesn't look like it's one of his most played or anything here. So, we're going to be interested to see if the mid difference makes any... Ooh.
We already have a skirmish in the bot lane. That's going to be the ISO passive is going to go through onto the bomb. He has to flash out. The supports have traded flashes.
What was that punch? You saw that punch too, right?
Which punch?
Like, he walked forward after he already was engaged on and punched them once and then ran away and then flashed. Huh.
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to clear that exhaust for a jungle gank? Like, maybe it was maybe it was intentional to get... Well, yeah, obviously the passive, it's still like an extreme sort of like misplay. I almost wonder if it was calculated, maybe? Ooh. Lynx smacking him up there in the mid lane.
Yeah, pretty close to even trade, although Kled lost a little bit on it. Lucian will get that ward kill before it goes invisible. Riveting commentary, I know I should be casting professional ward placements. But yeah, so that level 1 happened. Fizz is going to be going in on the Aatrox. He's going to not quite Playful Trickster out of the chains from Aatrox, and so he's going to get pulled back, and that's going to stop the engage.
That was actually a pretty cool interaction, seeing Fizz flip it and get yanked back like that. I'm not going to lie, I've never played a Fizz Aatrox matchup, and I'm about summoner level 150, and I've never seen them be played either, so it's obviously something that's pretty rare.
Aatrox getting that third hit of his Darkened Blade onto Fizz. That deals a lot of damage. Fizz is going back in, and he's going to get out again. Sorry, I keep getting faked out by this Fizz, who has the ability to go in and then say, I'm not doing that. Hecarim going to be ganking onto the top side. Ornn flashes, but he's still going to get knocked back by the Hecarim. He dashes.
Interesting interaction on the flash there. It looked to me like he actually got like dashed sideways. Like he got pushed and flashed and dashed at the same time. But, you know, still good to see a shout out there to supporting your local top lane. Remember, if you don't gank my lane, I will throw the game. And then I will complain about it as we throw the game. And then I will yell profanities at you. I don't play top lane, but it is my Season 9 experience.
So critically, possibly for that fight, Skarl was killed, and so Kled couldn't really follow up on that. He was stuck not being able to move forward. That he might have been able to land the bear on the trap if Skarl didn't go down. Or bear trap on the rope, rather. What? Yeah, bear on the trap. Wow. But yeah, the bear trap on a rope, that might have been able to secure them the kill on the Ornn with the Hecarim knockback and the pullback of that. But it didn't end up getting... He's going to get the Skarl back, and that's going to be a good trade onto the Ornn. He's going to go down again, but the bear trap on a rope pulls him back after the invulnerability. He's going to go down. That's why you don't take a trade within Kled's minion wave.
I was going to say, there's like... Oh, never mind. I can't say anything. There's two fundamental rules of top lane, and one of them involves Kled. Obviously, the first fundamental rule of top lane, everybody knows, don't chase Singed, right? We don't chase...
Yep.
The second one is you do not 1v1 Kled, because Kled will always win. It's like Kled will be at 1 health, then suddenly have Scarl back and be at full health. And you're just like, what did I just do? And then you're like, oh, I fed the Kled. And then he's coming down, rolling through your team, killing 7 people with 1 swing. He doesn't even care. He's killing 3 of his own teammates.
He gets functionally a heal as a passive.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the summoner spell. Because like he gets a bunch of HP back, and he can get it multiple times in the fight. But that's going to be Hecarim's ganking the bot lane already. That's going to be a hook onto the bomb. Hecarim's very low, though. He has to flash out of there. He can't take too much damage from the Lucian. That's going to heals out from both AD carries right now. Lucian's trying to get the kill onto the Nautilus. Hecarim can't do anything to help, but that's going to be a whole lot of plasma damage from the Kai'Sa onto the Braum. Braum's going to be going down. So does Nautilus. But the passive from the Braum stacks is going to go down. Lucian's going to take the kill onto the Hecarim. Maybe he's going to have to flash out. He's not going to be able to quite get the Kai'Sa kill right now. He is a level up, but he's going to go down with the Kai'Sa.
Oh my goodness. What?
Bot lane uses all of their summoner spells.
Everybody's doing everything all at once. That's how you could have just play-by-play that. You just open it up, you just be like, everybody does everything. Several people are dead.
Oh, Aatrox tower dives the Fizz. He's not going to get it. The Triumph proc is actually going to save the Fizz. Fizz is going to move with the Triumph proc. As he gets the kill underneath tower, Aatrox, your ultimate doesn't work like that anymore. You need to get the killer assist to get the revive. Oh man, we're off to an explosive
exactly
start.
tied in gold somehow. Like, literally not even 100 gold separates the teams right now.
Well, not surprisingly, the Aatrox is kind of smashing Fizz as far as farm is concerned. About 20 CS up at 7 minutes.
The thing is, though, you give Fizz even, say, like, 2 kills. That's you give away, like, a blasting one because you give 2 kills for 600 and, like, a wave for the extra 3.
Yeah.
Blasting one on Fizz is a nasty item. I mean, he scales really, really well. He has a 1.2 AP ratio in Playful Tricks. Oh!
Yeah, nothing in the mid lane. Vi misses the dash, so nothing going to happen there. Playful Trickster, really just very annoying for junglers to gank, especially ones that don't have point-and-click CC. Fizz also, he did pick up the Sheen. He didn't grab the Blasting Wand early. He grabbed the Sheen for some mana return on his ability cast, so he's going to run into less mana problems. We do have Hecarim here, but Kled is also collapsing on the Aatrox. He's just going to go right past for some reason. But the Aatrox is going to be taking a lot of damage. Fizz is going to be also taking about half his HP, but the Aatrox will go down in the end. He can't do anything. Preview. Vi's going to find Hecarim on her rafters and says, "No, these are mine."
Where was Kled going? Did he just want to go to bot later?
You can choose in the middle of the ultimate cast to attack somebody else. He just kind of kept going. Said goodbye.
I mean, maybe he was actually doing like method acting, like role playing. Like he was actually in Kled's brain.
I mean, he got the assist for it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you give the buff, you get the assist.
Yeah, and I mean, he did get involved in the end. But yeah, so 500 gold lead for Cloud 10 right now.
We're seeing
so far, their pick's working out pretty well.
Yeah, we're seeing the Infernal Drake up here too. Maybe Squidward's house at this point might be questioning giving them 2 of their most comfortable comfort picks. You see, Lucian was just kind of chilling there in the bot lane, wasn't positioning there for a few seconds. Thought maybe he had disconnected, but no, he's still there.
One thing I meant to mention with that fight we had in the bot lane, Vi wasn't involved at all, so she actually got to keep farming. So that was actually a 3-man commit by Squidward's house, just to end up getting the 2-kill trade. But that's an engage from Kled. That's actually going to be an ultimate from the Fizz onto the Aatrox. Aatrox isn't going to be able to get any of these kills. They're just camping the mid lane, although he does so much damage with the Darken Blade. But it's not enough. He's not going to be able to get any trade kills with the ultimate, but Vi is here. She has double buffs right now, but the Fizz is going to be able to come help the Hecarim, so Vi doesn't want any of that right now. She now has help from Lucian and Braum. She flashes for the knock-up onto the Fizz, but she's not going to connect. She ults onto the Fizz. Fizz isn't going to get to do any damage here, but this is already the bot lane roam. This is a 4v3 before the fight even began. And so Braum is going to have to flash out. The culling is already used. As Kaisa ults in, trying to get a kill onto the Lucian. The plasma stacks are stacking up, but she's not going to get the last one. She's not going to get the burst damage on the Lucian. They are going to hit the Nautilus dredge line, but Lucian's going to trade a kill back onto the Kaisa. As Hecarim dives underneath the tower, Lucian's still alive! He's going to be able to trade one of the kills back onto Nautilus.
These things don't need to happen! These things don't need to happen!
Ended up being an even trade.
What?
Ended up being an even 3-for-3, except Lucian is now sitting on 5 kills. That's huge.
Why are they so angry at each other?
On 4. Listen, I don't know what position you play, but Lucian, he just makes you want to do this stuff. It's just something about his kit. I'm an AD carry player. Just something about his kit. You just want to fight constantly. You have so much mobility and just so much base damage. It's so much fun.
We will see the Infernal go over to Squidward's house there. Okay, it kind of makes sense because I'm a mid laner and I play a lot of control mages. And I'm the guy sitting there like, I'm usually up like 15, 20 CS, helping out with a roam here and there. But I'm the guy that's like, why are you guys doing this?
Yeah. I'm not saying it's smart. I'm just saying like something about like his kit. It's so much mobility, like short cooldowns. You're dashing around, doing all your double shots and everything. Yeah, it's just something about the kit. Doesn't make it a smart decision. But that's actually going to be the proc almost pulled onto the Kaisa as Lucian flashes the wall to get the kill, but he's stuck underneath the tower. He's going to be rooted underneath the tower by the Nautilus. Hecarim is down here. He's going to fly by kill onto the Lucian. Braum has nowhere to go. Fizz is going to be cutting off his exit as well. Braum's just going to try to stall it. Kled TP'd down, so they did commit the TP from the top laner. So TP advantage goes to Squidward's house, but it might not matter with that kill on both of the bot laner and the support. And Nautilus is going mid. Aatrox has already left, though. He knows he's in trouble.
What are they getting out of that TP from Kled, though? Because Kled's actually taking Kaisa's wave right now, and you can see that they're actually pinging the Kled. I think it's like, hey, get away from me here, but I'm not sure. Like, the play was great.
Nothing lands.
I'm not sure.
Gen landed nothing with all of their ultimates. Hecarim actually gets knocked up by the Ornn ultimate, but he's not going to get knocked up by the Aatrox. Nautilus is not in the position that he wants to be. That's going to be a flash a little wall from the Aatrox. He's going to get the reset. He's not going to be taken down, though, so it won't do much for him. But
never mind. Kled has just been alone down here to get half a tower by himself.
Lucian does have his Bork, so he's actually pretty good in the 1v1 versus Kled. Kled does have a lot of damage and pretty tanky, relatively speaking, to like a Lucian. But Lucian can keep him at bay. Braum is looking for the flank onto the Kled, though, right now. You can see on the minimap. He will get caught on a pink ward, though, so we won't have a fight in the bot side. Hecarim's also here now. Nautilus is on his way. I really hope Squidward's house doesn't go for this, because that would be a horrible misplay by them. But with this Lucian that we've seen in 2 games, we have no idea what he's going to be doing. He almost goes in, but they see the Hecarim.
I think Lucian has like some kind of like, he's got a nose for it. No, he's got a nose. It smells blood. Like if somebody takes like 1 damage in top lane, he's like, I'm on it, boss. I'm going right now.
So we're 11 to 7 kills.
18 kills.
We have 18 kills in 13 minutes, and there is no gold lead. There's like 300-ish gold lead. For red side right now for Squidward's house. That's going to be the Nautilus engaging onto the Vi. He's not going to land too much CC until he lands his ultimate. Kaisa's going to ult onto the backline, and Vi has nowhere to go at that point. Ornn was trying to save her, but he's going to end up going down for his troubles. Kaisa almost goes down to the burst damage from the Ornn. Almost a misplay. But
yeah, I was actually questioning that flash. The flash ult there, or the flash hook. I was like, I don't know how to feel about that. Then it worked.
It was calculated.
Yeah, calculated. Yeah. So the ceiling in Rocket League, and it actually went into the goal like 8 seconds later because I fell over on my back and it rolled off of me. Yeah, like that.
Yeah. So first tower goes to the side of Squidward's house, despite all of the kills for the most part going to the side of Cloud10. So that is a lot more gold going into the pocket of Lucian, who's now going to finish up his Berserker's Greaves. Or not finish him. He has already finished them, and he's going to grab a Coalfield's Warhammer. So he's already started a good start to that Essence Reaver. He has a really solid lead, and Kaisa has 3 daggers.
That way you can stab somebody with all 3 of your hands.
3 daggers, a sword, and a bigger sword, and boots. Hey, and now she turned her small little daggers into a bow and arrow.
I mean, there's got to be a functional way to wield that, right? You hold the bow and arrow. Oh.
Well, we haven't engaged from the Vi, but they're committing into 3 people. Fizz is actually going to get the kill onto the Vi in the end. Aatrox has his ultimate. He has so much lifesteal coming from that, but it's just not going to be enough. He's not going to be able to get the reset, and he is going to go down to Cloud and Hecarim. This is what happens when you try to fight in the jungle with no vision.
I think it's also what happens when you get drafted onto something you're not comfortable with. You can see he's 0-4-1 now. I feel like he's overestimating the abilities of Aatrox as a champion. You know, like Aatrox
is the top side
very...
Whoa. The Kaisa lost like 300 HP in a single auto attack. So Lucian's going to be looking actually for this fight onto the Nautilus. He's going to actually hook him underneath the tower though and root him as well. That's the heal coming out of the Lucian, but he's going to end up dying to the tower. Nautilus is turning around this fight. He's going to get onto the bot lane.
You don't have to do these things. They don't need to happen. This is what
happens
in my solo games when I don't hit the F keys. When I just see people dying, these are the things that are happening. I need to just hold down like F2 at all times.
By looking for another engage onto 2 people. Aatrox is just so far away. You're going to get bursted down by the Assassin, Fizz, and the Hecarim. Why are you pushing so far forward? Aatrox can't even get there.
I'm so confused. And they're going for the lethality.
Is this the same Squidward's house from last game?
Yet still somehow they're only down 2,500 gold after all of this. And they're up in Infernal.
Gotcha.
For all of like the fiesta that last game was, at least both teams were like committing to the same fights, and they all seemed to be on the same weird page. But this fight, it seems like Squidward's house is just going in on fights 1 versus 5, and nobody else is following.
I'm imagining there definitely has to be some tilt going on there. I'd really like to see the Vi start to build tank, especially with the Aatrox and the Ornn on your team. Like you don't need like a third face smacker on your team. You need somebody that can take some face smacking. Because obviously, you know, Braum can take a little bit. Sometimes I feel like, you know, Braum isn't as sneaky as people feel he is. Oh boy.
Lucian's going to be ulted down by the Nautilus. He does have to flash out of there, but he is going to get out just fine. That tower lived on 1 HP. And so he's going to actually be trading some damage back onto the Nautilus. That's the Culling coming out. That's a lot of damage. This is 5-man from Squidward's house, or from Cloud 10 arriving. This is a fight that they will easily win. Already a 2-for-1 trade. And as the fight splits up, you already have Cloud 10 winning this fight. They got 2 kills. They killed the mid laner and the AD carry. 2 critical kills. But Vi has the flank right now on Cloud 10. She's going to try to go in on the Nautilus, but she's going to get the kill and die. And Clint says, charge under the Ornn, and Ornn is going to be going down. Rob is here to try to save him, but the bear trap on the rope is going to be pulling the Ornn back. He's just going to get the ultimate off. That's just going to slow down the kill by about a half a second before yet another kill goes over to the side of Cloud 10, as they now have 22 kills in 18 minutes. They're going to tower that.
My jaw is like literally agape. I don't understand how life works and science is a thing.
Yeah. So the team that got Kindred mid lane to work last game is now having trouble committing to fights and making meta picks work.
I think a lot of it, honestly, is hinging on the Aatrox, though, because worth noting in that last fight is Aatrox popped World Ender when he was still 2 or 3 seconds out of the fight. Like, you don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, you can Q World Ender Q. Like, that's a thing that Aatrox does in most of the... You know, you get the first piece of the Darkened Blade, then you World Ender. Because those seconds are precious. I know the reset's obviously extended.
Yeah.
That's valuable, but you don't waste seconds of World Ender when you're playing Aatrox.
So we have 32 kills in 19 and a half minutes. As Squidward's house is still positioning aggressively. They're still clearing vision on Cloud 10's side of the map, having taken out top and bot tower, but not even the mid tower yet.
I mean, we're seeing that Fizz that was getting destroyed is now up to 5 and 2. The Kaisa has 6 kills. Even the Nautilus has 4. Like, everybody gets Oprah Winfrey up in here. You get a kill, and you get a kill, and everybody
Hecarim's
gets a
3-1 and 12. Hecarim's 3-1 and 12.
Hecarim support meta.
He's been everywhere.
He honestly...
Slack trying to get away. Hecarim's so fast, though. He's going to ult onto the Hecarim, or onto the Aatrox, and they're going to be dealing a lot of damage. World Ender is popped, but he's just going to get CC'd. He can't lifesteal through all of that, and you can't get the reset if you can't hit people. Hecarim goes in, but he's actually going to be taking a lot of damage. This is a split fight, as Kled is taken out on the backside, actually, by Squidward's house, and that's the Culling coming out, chunking out the Kaisa to very low, as they're maybe looking for the re-engage. Horn actually doesn't have his ultimate. He's already used it. And so
what are you doing?
He's going to flash in, and the Fizz is actually going to be on the back line. He's actually going to pop the Lucian. He's going to flash out. And the Nautilus dredge line is going to land onto the Vi. They don't have a lot of damage right now, as Kaisa has to position so far back, but the Vi almost goes down. Nautilus is maybe looking for a re-engage. He's low on mana, though. Fizz is looking for a pick on the back line, but all he can find is Ornn, who he cannot burst right now.
Did you ever see the movie Speed with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock?
No, I have not. I have heard of it.
So
I have not.
The premise of the movie Speed is that they get a bus hijacked by terrorists, and they put a bomb on the bus, and if the bus goes under 70 miles an hour, the bomb goes off, and they're delivering these people to, like, human trafficking or something, so they want the bus to go fast. They're headed for, like, the Mexican border. They got to get out of there. And I think, basically, it's a really long metaphor for that's exactly what's happening at Squidward's house. Somebody's actually holding a gun to all of their heads and saying, if you guys play League of Legends at anything under 100 miles an hour, you will all die IRL. And they're like, okay, we listened. The script is in. The script is in.
Indeed. And notably, you already kind of touched on it. Everybody is fed from Cloud 10, as Kled's going to go in onto the Lucian. Lucian doesn't really have much ability to trade with this, although the pulling mostly lands, as Kled is actually going to be going down. Braum gets there just in time. He doesn't have the burst damage to kill the Lucian before he can actually get enough lifesteal, and the Braum comes to save him. And that will give Cloud 10 the Ocean Drake, and they're going to go in on the Ornn right now. Ornn is so tanky, but it doesn't matter when you have 3 people, including a Nautilus, who can just constantly root and knock you up. It just doesn't matter. And so they're actually going to end up, in the long run, getting an Ocean Drake and just trading top laners. Although Squidward's house does have the inside track on mid lane, they will be grabbing that. Fizz tries to do something, but the ultimate lands onto the Braum, but there is a flank from Cloud 10 now. As Braum is on the front line, he does throw down the Glacial Fissure, but it's just not enough. It's going to zone for a little bit. Vi is going to try to kill the backline, but she just can't kill the Kaisa yet. Nautilus does end up going down. So we have, yet again, a 1-for-1.
You cannot dive the backline when you are building lethality on... It's not how it works.
She's building Dustplate. She has Dustplate again.
Yeah, that's not... And then going for the Longsword after that, too, which... Longsword, Ruby Crystal, I'm assuming Black Cleaver, right? Which, that's a good first item for Vi, but you should have built that before the Dustblade, and then you go, like, tanky and everything, and... Yeah. I'm not a Vi player, but I know how Vi plays. So it's like... And I'm not... Like, again, don't take any of this too personally if you guys do watch this back. Like, I'm not personally disparaging you. I just feel like for the situation that you're in, that the decision is poor. Because I feel like that they're building on sort of like just a linear path, like they did last game. They're like, I built this last game and it worked, therefore I built it this game and it worked. Oh, boy.
Kled went back into the Culling, and so he's going to be going down. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Aatrox has the flank. That's another kill to Lucian. But Cloud 10 has arrived here. They are down a man, but they also have a decent lead of about 3,000 gold, and they have the ability to nuke the back line. So it looks like we're just not going to have a fight, as both teams are just happy to be clearing vision. That is...
What did you say about not having a fight?
Hey, we do have a fight. Ornn decides to ult in. Fizz is caught out. There's just no way this team can help him. Fizz is actually caught out. So now we actually have a 5v3 on the map. So this might even be barren for Squidward's house. This is exactly what they were looking for. Despite the kill deficit or the kill spread, they actually do win this fight. They get 2 picks, which might just be the Baron. Currently, Aatrox zoning out the Hecarim. He notably does not have his ultimate right now, so he doesn't have that much lifesteal. There is a TP coming in from Cloud10, though. That is the Kled. As Hecarim goes in, trying to get something to go. They will get one kill. That's a huge knockup from the Nautilus, as there's going to be just so much damage. And Kai'Sa does get onto the backline. She's going to be killing the Lucian. There's just no damage left over for either teams. Honestly, Kled is just going to chase down the Ornn, as that ends up being a one fight, a 4v5 that Cloud10 has won. And that will also be the Baron, leashed for them so kindly by Squidward's house.
Yeah. Analysis on that one. The Aatrox, the zoning was actually good. I'll give him that. I think he was actually playing a good zone. That skin that Aatrox is using, I don't know if you've noticed the way that the Darkin Blade looks on it. It's actually very difficult to, especially if you're not super comfortable in Aatrox, to land the Darkin Blade with those bizarre like digital hitboxes. Yeah. I noticed that he missed both of them there, and it wasn't because it was a misplay. I think it was just literally hitbox issues. And then just, you know, good collapse from Cloud10 there. Questionable in the Kai'Sa to use the Apex Predator, like to go in on that. I think they actually could have just artilleried that one. You know, like thrown in the Void Seeker and then just sort of went ham from a distance. But that's not how we're playing this game. We're not doing that right now.
Full dive all the time.
I mean,
you want us to play tempered and back? Excuse you. This is a 48 kill, 26-minute game.
It does look like Vi is going for the Black Cleaver here with the Warrior Enchant, and I guess we'll see how it pans out.
We saw the Vi get nuked in that fight. She just didn't get to do anything.
Yeah, and that's going to continue to happen. Oh, World Ender pop.
As World Ender is popped by Aatrox, but there's just so much burst damage. When he can't get that reset, it's completely useless. Hecarim goes in again, but he actually commits a little bit too far. Ornn's going to be throwing down the ultimate. The Forge God is actually going to land on 3 people. Coldly's coming out, but so much damage onto the Fizz, and the Nautilus is actually so far forward. Blinking low health bars for Cloud10 now, but they're all out. They lost no one. Vi's looking for a kill.
No, don't do it, Vi.
Vi has no mana left, so she probably will be backing out. Who knows? I don't even understand this game anymore. Braum actually almost goes down to the Kai'Sa and the red buff, but he will live on not a lot of HP.
47 health at one point.
Yeah, not a lot of HP. But in the end, there's just one kill in that whole fight. Just the Aatrox went down on Squidward House's side.
Oh, I don't feel good about this for Squidward's house here. They got it.
This is not a good fight for Squidward's house. They got the dragon, but they haven't reset. At what cost did they get that? Ornn is going to go down. Hecarim's not even going to end up going down. Fizz is diving the backline. Lucian manages to survive with the help of the Braum. Aatrox is looking for the flank. I hope he doesn't go over that wall. He just chooses to not to. He's just going to kite at them from a distance. He ends up going in the end, though. He's fighting 3v1 as Lucian does get the kill on the backside, though, as the Braum ultimate goes down.
It's no longer working.
But now the Kled is possibly going to be getting the kill onto the Lucian. That is going to be the stun, but she's going to end up popping his shotgun. And that's going to be an ace for Cloud10. And that will be at least an inhibitor, possibly Nexus Towers.
Worth saying here, we're at the exact amount of same of kills and the reverse team score 37-19 from the first game right now. But we're almost 20 minutes early. But it's in favor of the other team this time.
Yeah.
And the gold lead's very similar too, 7,000 this game to 6,000 last. So it's basically like a tale of two cities. I don't know. Tale of two cities, except the cities are knocked down and there's like some refugee tents and like a stale loaf of bread in one of the tents.
Really not looking good for Squidward's house. Kled was on the back line for basically the entire fight, and he didn't even lose his GA. Spanish teacher just went ham on that back line, getting Scarl reset multiple times. Never lost that GA. He's so strong right now.
I mean, isn't everybody though? I'd say like everyone.
Well, yeah.
I think the only thing that's holding this game like Seat 10's advantage is the fact that Aatrox and Vi are not strong right now. Like everybody else is. And you know, we only see, aside from Lucian, we're only seeing, you know, the masterwork item on Ornn himself. which to me is
Yeah.
kind of saying, miscommunication with the team.
There's one on Lucian.
Yeah, that's
his Blade of the Ruined King is on.
Yeah, that's what I said. There's the one on Lucian, and otherwise, like, everybody's like, nah, I don't need these super good items. I don't want those. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, until recently, that's okay. So Vi's going for the Triforce.
Oh, okay. Or instead of the cleaver. I think we're a little late for the Triforce spike, to be honest.
Why?
Oh, look, Orn's trying to upgrade Aatrox's item, but he won't stop.
So that's actually going to be a dive onto the Fizz, but Vi's going to miss connecting, as there's going to be a lot of damage traded onto the Kled, but he's not going to quite go down. Fizz is going to end up going down to this duo in the bot lane right now. He's going to be messing around a little bit, wasting their time. But it's actually going to be a one fight in the bot side, and Lucian's actually going to kite out this fight. He's going to get a kill onto the Hecarim. Kled's going to get the Scarl back, and he's going to get stunned, though. And so he's going to actually lose the Scarl and go down to the Lucian. A crazy 2 fights. One in bot lane and mid lane, so that's actually 3 kills, and they lose nothing for Squidward's house. Let's see what they get on the map.
Yeah, they already lost the inhibitor. I think the only thing that they could get is maybe this mid tower.
And they lost top tower during all of that to the Kaisa, so they might be able to trade towers, at which point this is, it's already worth. If you're this far behind, you'd be happy with even trades. Even trades are winning if you're behind. But they do end up trading towers. They're going to be positioning for this inhibitor tower, which might be a mistake from the Lucian. As Braum gets stuck underneath the tower, he's going to be taking so much damage.
Might be a mistake.
Nautilus does go down. Lucian does so much damage. He's going to get exhausted. As Vi goes in onto the Kaisa, she's not going to be able to land the last hit on her. But Lucian's going to dive. And so that's going to be 2 kills going to each side, but that's absolutely, again, in Squidward House's favor.
It definitely is, but
they do have to disengage, so they won't get that. They won't get to break the base, but that's absolutely in their favor. They just cut about a 7,000 gold deficit to about 5,000.
I'd absolutely like to mention here that I think it's integral for all League of Legends players to know that for each tower shot you take, the next one does 25% more damage, and that continues to scale indefinitely. I know that I know that might be some advanced knowledge, but if you're gonna die, try not to take like 17 tower shots. If we can cut it to like 4, if we can cut to like 4, we might be good. We are gonna see a contest over this Baron for sure. And honestly, I'm just at this point, I'm having so much fun. Like I love League of Legends. If I could just see this fight through to the end.
Yep. I mean, at this rate, we might be looking at a game 3 if Cloud10.
I think we are looking at a game 3. But not to get too personal before this fight, but I can't currently play. I ran my hand through a hedge trimmer by accident. I have Frankenhand right now. It's gruesome. So this is my fun. Like, actually casting right now is my fun.
Cloud10 committed to the dragon, and so this is actually going to be giving over Baron to Squidward's house. Absolutely a win for Squidward's house right now. His Kled might be getting caught out. He's going to charge. He's unstoppable during that, so the Vi ultimate isn't going to quite catch him. He still has Scarlet by about a HP. By a hit point. That's actually a good flank from the Fizz, but Fizz is going to end up going down. That's 2 kills to the Lucian so far. This is actually a really good break for Squidward's house, as Nautilus has nowhere to go. That's going to be a knockup from the Vi, as, again, Braum is going to be landing down that slow. Chains aren't going to quite connect. Aatrox does take a tower shot. It's not going to be quite enough. It hasn't built up that damage that you mentioned.
Yeah, he only took 1.
Yeah, he only took 1, which does less damage, as you have taught us, than if you had taken, like, the 3rd shot in a row.
The question here is, if they had committed a little harder there, I knew that Aatrox was, but if they had committed harder and reset there, I think they could have shoved wave and taken the inhib, right? Like, I know that their wave was back, but I think if they ran back as a unit, took that wave, they'd have the inhib there, right? Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
They ran back and cut.
Yeah, they had Baron buff. They had Baron buff. Lucian has life steal. They definitely could have done that, but they chose not to. They chose a safer play. They still have some time on the Baron buff.
I mean, look at this, though. They're only down by 13 kills now. And I say only down by 13 kills. That's just the kind of game that we're playing right now.
And it's so weird because, like, theoretically, as the game goes longer, I would give it more and more to Cloud10's team, but they've been losing the fights.
I see.
Since I would give Kaisa better scaling than Lucian, I would give Kled, or Hecarim at least, a better late game than Vi. and Fizz still hasn't hit that point where he's dropping off. He still one-shots the backline pretty quickly. But they're just not winning the fights anymore. And so that once 7,000 gold lead is now just over 1,000, just under 1,000 now, actually.
That is absolutely nutty to me. Oh, it looks like we are going to have an engage
here. He's going to flash in. He's going to dredge line onto the Brump. Maya's trying to get the back line of Kaisa, but she's going to end up going down as the fight in the front line. Lucian's doing so much damage, but the Fizz gets the kill onto him. The Forge Dodge gets the knock-up onto the Fizz, but it doesn't matter. Aatrox's World Ender is just about to end, but he does so much damage. That's going to be Kled running ham all over the front line. He's going to be taking down the Ornn. Aatrox is still alive. Fizz was untraceable for a little bit, but she's going to end up going down to the Aatrox. But that's actually a one fight for Cloud10 as Kaisa managed to make it out of that fight somehow.
Now, can Kaisa end here before Vi comes back? Because I think it's a yes. I think they can.
I don't think Vi can do anything by herself.
I think that just ends. And honestly, I again hate to be too disparaging, but I feel like Vi is the reason. Like, do you see that fight going differently if they had a tanky Vi right there? Because I see that fight going completely differently.
Absolutely. They almost won that fight with Vi keeping Kaisa out of the fight as
exactly,
it was. Yeah. If she was tankier, then Kaisa's out of the fight for even longer, and then Aatrox gets to use his World Ender all over the place the entire time. Lucian probably survives longer, but like we're dealing in theoreticals now. They've already committed to that Duskblade. Vi's Triforce is now augmented by the Ornn, and the Aatrox is Black Cleaver. So now everybody except the support has augmented items. So theoretically, even though I did say Cloud10's composition outscales, there is the factor of the extra Ornn items.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're great. And right now, this is as strong as they're going to be. Like right around this like late game before we start into hyper scaling, like the true one-shotting. Yeah, that's actually they're as good as they're going to be right now. And
Kled is destroying these team fights, and he's building another tank item. He's sitting on that Giant's Belt right now, which I'm not sure what he's going to turn it into at this time. But like he's getting tankier now. He already has the damage to run all over the backline and kill the Lucian. But we do have Vision set up quite well by Squidward's house on the bot side right now. They're setting up a Death Brush right now. As we're seeing Cloud10 not get baited yet. The Elder Drake will be spawning about a minute sooner than the Baron.
Here they come. Vi is visible and just going to choose not to charge. That's a clutch cooldown that Vi no longer has now if they choose to dive that now. That's coming back in 3 seconds, 2-1. So they can do it again.
He struck the bush, and he's just going to get bursted down so quickly. He didn't have his team with him. They do have supers pushing in the mid lane right now. He just should have waited a little bit longer. If they wait long enough, the mid lane pushes, and Squidward's house has to answer. But now it's a 5v4 on the map. They can just grab this Elder Drake, and then they will win any fight for the next minute and a half.
I mean, they only do have... Oh, almost a steal there. They only do have 2 dragon buffs this game, but I mean, it's mountain and... you know, in their situation...
How close these fights have been.
Oh, yeah. In their situation, the Infernal helps a lot. The Mountain doesn't really do a whole lot because, you know, additional, 4% true damage. I'm not going to say no, but I'm not like, woo! I'm just kind of like, Oh, here we go. Is he going for it? What are we doing?
I'm not going to quite have an engage yet.
I mean, that's a huge button, man. Kled not having that ult, that is massive, especially against in the face of this burning dragony death. I mean, look at it. This guy's name is XX Dragon AK-47 XX, so you would expect him to fully understand the complexity of the dragon play, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, you name yourself as a dragon with an AK-47. I'm not messing with you personally. I'm just saying.
And so, Cloud10, knowing that cooldown, that critical ultimate is on cooldown, have backed off, let Vision swing a little bit back towards Squidward House's favor. Currently, there is a pink ward in the pit, but that's cleared out just now by the Lucian. So, yeah. Cloud10 waiting the last 30 seconds before Kled's charge comes up. But that's the Baron gets burnt down so quickly, and that's going to be Baron and Elder Dragon buff as Fizz gets bursted down so hard by the Lucian who doesn't even need the help of his team.
Kled's Fizz's Aldous down.
Looking for the
I mean, this is, if they want to come back and make this a true like Cinderella story, this is it, right? This is your moment. This is your destiny. You push in here. You end this game. You do not take one inhibitor and then run away. You drive the bus 100 miles an hour. You get to the Mexican border. You end this game.
This is as strong as you are going to get as Squidward's house, at least in comparison.
As the Elder buff fades off in like 30 seconds. I'm so angry.
You gotta take the fight.
You gotta take the fight.
Call of the Forge God now. Now. Lucian's actually going to be taking the Fizz ultimate as he has to dash out. He's going to take a lot of damage, and that's the redemption down for Squidward's house. This is actually a huge team fight item that is not available anymore, just to keep the Lucian available, and that's probably going to dissuade the Elder Dragon buff for Cloud 10, which is quite nice. That now they only have to worry about the Baron buff, which is kind of weird to say that you only have to worry about the Baron buff. But you gotta choose at some point to go in. Nautilus takes so much damage from the backline as they wait to commit for so long, but so much damage onto the Lucian. Lucian has to go out of the fight. Call of the Forge God doesn't do all that much. But Fizz is trying to go on the backline, but Lucian doesn't make a dying, so he's going to be able to run hammer over his fighter, and that's going to be going down. His fury is gone, and that is going to be Aatrox chasing down the rest of Cloud 10.
My entire life up to this minute has been a lie, and I am so sorry. It's happening!
And that will be maybe a couple of more kills worth Squidward's house. They do get the stun onto the Nautilus, but he's going to be able to get back into the fountain. But that is going to be game.
They surrender!
Oh my God! The surrender from Cloud 10. That will be a 2-0 for Squidward's house.
You cannot counter this team. They thrive in the chaos. They were forged by the madness. They don't know what happens, but they still win the game.
Turns out that you're facing RNG, you're facing Uzi in the bot lane. They want to take fights the entire game, and you will not out-team fight them if you decide to do that the entire game. And so that is game 2 going over to Squidward's house, and that will be the series. Almost the entirety of that game, we thought Cloud 10 was going to win that game for almost the entirety of the series, not the series, the game. They were up 7,000 gold at some point, and they ended up losing with about a 5,000 gold deficit in the end.
So
what?
So some closing thoughts here. No team can really do research on Squidward's house. You know, there's going to be a round of 4 next week. Any team that they're playing against, any of the prospective other 7 teams that are still alive, or I guess 6 teams at this point that are still alive right now. How do you do research on that? Like, what do? They're going to play anything, and they're going to run at your face. Play at your tower. Yeah, ban Lucian and hide under the tower. And
not necessarily ban it, but pick it or something. Make it so that he doesn't feel as comfortable constantly skirmishing from level 1 till the end of the game.
And ward your frog.
Always
ward your
don't
frog.
Fight over your frog. And
if there's anything to be taken from this tonight, it is always ward your frog. Hey,
Lucian had 23,000 gold.
He certainly did. This has been tame. I'm gonna pass it over to you if you have any final words for tonight. I had fun. I hope you did too.
Yeah, that was a fun series to watch. Constantly team fighting, a lot of fun to cast. But that is all for today's broadcast. Thank you for watching the second round of Rampage Open Playoffs. Squidward's house goes on with a 2-0 over Cloud 10. I want to thank my co-caster Tamed for color casting this series, and thank you for the entire Risen Broadcast crew. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys on the Rift.
Have a nice night.